let me tell you about one of the most incredible and unexpected oral sex experiences that I've ever had and exactly what made it so awesome. All right, I'm gonna admit something to you. Most oral sex that I have received in this lifetime has been fine. Kind of like a well-meaning gift that doesn't quite hit the mark. You just receive it gracefully, right? It often has felt like something that was kind of like happening to me, not something that I was fully a part of, until this one experience. What this guy did wasn't wild or messy or acrobatic or like even that complicated. It was slow and it was focused and it was intentional, and it had me screaming into my hand, trying not to disturb the neighbors. Now, what he did was simple, super simple, but not many of us know how to do it, at least not well. It's what I have come to call the Touchless Touch Technique. It's a method that made me feel super present, super aroused, and more engaged than almost anything else I've ever experienced from oral. What's genius about it is that it actually takes into account how a woman's body operates, from reaching peak arousal to getting over the edge of orgasm. And the guy who inspired this technique, let me put it this way, he had like a 100% success rate on me when it came to oral sex. Every time. The reason for that is he understood the way to get a woman to orgasm is to actually get away from all of the fancy and complicated techniques that many of us try to flex with and just go back to the basics. And in this video, I'm going to teach you exactly what he did and how he did it. It's a technique that I have since refined, taught, and watched work over and over again, especially for men whose partners struggle to have orgasms from oral sex. And you can take it even further and combine it with a Yoni Massage, which is an incredibly orgasmic practice that I've actually given hands-on demos for, but I will circle back to that at the end of this video. Before I get into the step-by-step guide, let's talk about why most of us miss the mark. Too many of us go into oral sex with tongues ablazing. Or we start carefully and then switch things up way too often. We try everything except for what actually works, which is doing less, but doing it better. Women's bodies are incredibly responsive, but they need consistency. And the Touchless Touch Technique is built around exactly that. Consistent, precise, and rhythmic movements that are designed to tease her body into a full-blown climax. I cannot tell you how many times I've been on the receiving end of oral, and just as it was getting good, the person switched up their technique on me. And what could have been an orgasm turned into me eventually giving up and asking them to stop. Now, I want to be clear. Great sex doesn't have to lead to orgasms. Women can still thoroughly enjoy oral sex without reaching climax. But if climax is what you are after, then this is for you. The Touchless Touch Technique. Let's break it all down. Step 1. Soft entry. The beginning of oral is all about building anticipation and arousal. You want to have her basically begging you to touch the most sensitive parts of her body before you let her have it. So start with everything but the clit. Think kisses on her inner thighs, her mons pubis, her outer lips, light licks, nuzzles. Make her ache for your mouth to hurry up and get where it's going. This builds desire, which by the way is half of the game when it comes to mind-blowing oral, letting her body heat up slowly, letting her mind slowly build up anticipation and arousal. Like, when is he going to do that? That part makes everything else feel 10 times more intense when you finally do. Essentially what you're doing is you're like making her brain come and center right on what's going on. Step 2, the hover. Once she is practically grinding herself into, practically grabbing your head, trying to bring your mouth closer to her clit, don't touch it yet. Still don't touch it. What you're gonna do is you're gonna let yourself hover over the clit. Maybe you just send some warm breath, like just your natural exhale onto the clit. Not all women love that. I learned that the hard way. Many of us do. Maybe you like gently graze it with the tip of your nose, or you brush it with one of your lips, but you do not actually land on it. You are right there. She can feel that you're right there. You're zeroed in, but you are holding back just enough that her body is reaching out towards you. Her nerve endings are practically jumping out of her body to pull you in closer. That is the level that I want you to be at step 2. And then step 3 is the tease. Even after all of that, you're still not going to dive in. Now, I know at this moment you are probably just as desperate for it as she is, but the key to this technique is staying in control while building up slowly. So your next step is very, very light flicks of your tongue, not on the clit itself, but just around it. Think of this like licking the yolk of an egg without breaking it. It's like the clit is the egg yolk. You're like licking right around the edge, just gentle enough not to actually break it. Think circular, gliding, barely there movement. This makes the nerves in her clit more sensitive, even more sensitive than they were after our first few steps. You're still waking up her body, you're still letting her swell with blood, but most importantly, you're not actually giving her what she wants, and you're certainly not overwhelming her. Again, going back to our tongues ablazing metaphor, this is allowing her arousal to continue to rise. Step 4, finding her flow. Once her breath starts to catch and her hips begin to roll and her body starts really reaching out for you, that is your green light. At that point, you start to match her rhythm. Now, this is the part where it can get a little difficult, but imagine this. You are watching her body, you are listening to her body, you are basically every one of your senses and all of your attention is trained on her body and her movements, her breath, etc. This is the point where you land your tongue directly on her clit and you pulse. You make small, repetitive motions. You don't dart around, you don't zigzag, you don't trace letters of the alphabet, okay? Think very slow and steady, either side to side or up and down. Remember that one of the 4 quadrants of her clit is likely to be the most sensitive. For some, I suppose it's like even the middle, but for most women, most clitorises, like northeast, southwest, one of those is going to be the more sensitive of them. If you already know that, great. If this is a new lover, communication is golden. But whatever you do, when you find out what her preference is, stick to it. Stick to that motion, either up, down, side, side, and stick to that quadrant. Stick to it. Now, her body's going to tell you what's working. Her body's going to give you all of the cues that you need in order to let you know to go harder or faster. Again, same motion, different speed, different pressure. You're going to listen for moans. You're going to listen to her breath. You're going to watch her pelvis. Does it move towards you? Does it move away from you? Which ways does it tilt? That's probably her trying to get you onto the spot that feels really good. And as you get cues from her, then you can slowly increase the pressure until you find the sweet spot. But you're not going to change the motion if she's getting louder. That's the point. That means it's working. We don't change anything. That brings me to step number 5, ride the edge. Here's where 90% of folks giving oral sex mess it up, right at the finish line. If you think that oral sex is about what you do with your tongue, then you have already missed the point. It is not about stimulation. It is about rhythm. It is about consistency, and it is about making her feel like you are with her in every single move. Again, do less, but do less better. Do what you are doing better. It's better to do that than to do more. Once she's close, your job is to just stay locked in. Stay right there. Now, this is where most guys, and I'll admit women too, get panicky and overexcited. We're like, oh my God, she's getting close to orgasm. We try to speed it up. We try to change it up. We're just like, I'll give her more. But she's already on the edge. What you are doing is already getting her there. You just need to keep going. Stick to the rhythm. If you're gonna do anything different, you can add more pressure, but be thoughtful about how much. Also, think about your tongue. It is a muscle. If you are like at a 10 out of 10 on speed and pressure, and it takes her a while to get to that edge, I don't want you to like strain yourself, okay? There's no medals at the end of this, but as someone who has won a medal at an orgy before, there sometimes are medals, but not for this. My point is to just make sure that you are keeping to the same technique and the same pacing and the same pressure, unless she gives you a very clear or explicit sign that you can add a little more, and then think about what you're adding. Just a little more. Now, if you want to give her a blended orgasm and you haven't already done this, this is a great moment to gently insert a finger or two, and even better, match them with a pulsing motion at the same speed as you are moving your tongue. Now, if you don't want to fully insert your fingers, sometimes just putting your hand grazing or anchoring at the base of her vaginal opening, so right on the outside, even with the same rhythm, either the flat of your hand or with your fingers, that can also do the same trick, because again, what you're doing is you're just matching the rhythm. You're giving her more of what is already working. And the result, again, if you're both locked in and what you're doing is working, will be a tremendous screaming into the pillow, kind of orgasm. If you want to go even deeper on how to touch a woman, not just with your hands and your mouth, but also your presence and all of your erotic intelligence, I have created something just for you. My Yoni Massage course shows you how to take her body beyond orgasm into full body, soul melting ecstasy using nothing but your hands. In it, you'll learn how to awaken every inch of her, the slow build of anticipation to the moment that she's moaning and gripping the sheets and forgetting her own name. I'll guide you through the entire experience with live hands-on demonstrations on 2 real women, so you will see exactly how to touch her in ways that make her melt, surrender, and come completely undone. This is deeper than technique. It's about energy, intention, and learning to be the kind of lover that she fantasizes about long after the lights go down. The link is in the description. Go check it out and then go change her life. Try the Touchless Touch technique and let me know how it goes in the comments. What surprised you? What worked? What would you add? I'm Caitlin B. Thank you for watching, and I will see you here next time.